Maybe movies. There's something behind you.
Dude.
What?
There's one behind you too.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall for that.
No, there is.
There is.
Seriously.
Really?
Really?
Oh, I do.
How weird.
What are these observers?
Maybe it's people pressing onto the outer realm of the delirium.
Where do you come from? What are you doing here?
Don't provoke him. He's got an axe.
Like an axe frightens me.
Welcome back, as always, to Maybe Movies. And we are about to launch into our new version of Salem's Lot, which is going to be called Salem's Nights.
Yes.
Or is it Salem Nights?
It would be Salem Night, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Salem Nights.
Which will see... which will... Stop it. Which will see us dropping Jerry Dandridge and Billy Cole from Fright Night into the Marsden house at around the time that David Soul returns home to write his book. But before we do, I believe my esteemed colleague here has a shout out he'd like to make.
Yes, indeed. I'd love it if you would all head over to the YouTube channel AKAFreelancing and check out their new short film that they've just produced, Hello Stranger. It's a brand new lockdown video. It's a drama, not a horror like our last one, but still, why not head over to the channel and check it out? Thanks, guys.
You know what I'll be doing later? Because we can't do anything else, as always. Oh,
Who?
you've been fed.
Ugh.
Thud?
Actual food. I think this is
Pygmies Winkles?
cocktail sausages.
Not Pygmies Winkles, then.
No.
Salted peas.
Let's try one.
No. Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Don't do peas.
But why?
Yeah!
Really peas?
Yeah.
What have they ever done to you?
Yeah, get away. Get away.
Weirdo. Sausage?
In a bit.
I might have something to nibble off.
It's all perfectly normal for here.
I just got dragged here.
That's nothing to do with us. We need to talk to whatever's out there. Right, let's have a look then at our setup for Salem Nights. First thing I think I need to ask then is... Oh no, we're going with what you said at the start, aren't we? So Jerry is already here.
He's already here, but Billy Cole's telling everybody he'll be arriving soon.
Yes. Unlike Straker and Barlow, they're pretty much inseparable. I think Jerry's savvy enough to not leave himself without his ghoul to protect him.
Yeah, exactly.
See, because I'm getting the impression Jerry would have already been here, but obviously he's being told, the whole town are being told that he's not here, he will be arriving soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, Billy, setting up the business, or setting up the house.
It'll be the house in this, because the business stayed with
That's
the
it,
others.
yes. But I'm thinking what Jerry's been doing is he's been going, like, next town's over to feed.
Oh, okay.
So, there's been, like, reports of, like, people being found.
So there'll be early deaths, but they won't be actual Salem's Lot residents.
That kind of adds that undertone of menace and fear into the cast already, because this is already happening. This is happening nearby,
so-
but hasn't hit here yet.
Yeah.
It does
So-
make sense, because Jerry's a much more cautious vampire as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
He likes to hide his tracks a lot more than Barlow.
Yeah,
ever.
so basically, I mean, obviously, with him, like, draining his victims, potentially beheading them
Yes.
as well. So there's been a lot of headless corpses that have been exsanguinated around, and it's like they're trying, like, obviously thinking it's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, because the beheading makes you think it's a serial killer, of course.
You'd be kind of hard-pressed to come up with a different idea in regards to that.
Yeah, because they have been there sometime before Ben arrives.
Yeah, exactly.
On a general note, and again, this was kind of one of the scenes I wanted to have a look at, or something I wanted to say something about, but something we didn't pick up on with the last one
Yeah.
is to see the reversal. We will see the Dandridge house in the similar kind of state to the interior of the Marsden house,
Oh,
because they've done fuck all to it.
Yeah.
Whereas here, we get to see the Marsden house with a bit of TLC done to it.
A little bit of TLC, but also we get the bit when they look at the house and it's just all the mist is coming off the roof and the trees are swaying and it's like just this one bit of land has become supernatural haunted land.
Yeah.
Yes.
We get that moment as well, which is not with the Marsden house would be much more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Because not only that, I mean, with the house, it would be, you'd have all the candles in the windows as well, like all the Aries, all the smoke, and maybe something banging in the distance.
Shed door around the back or something.
Around the back, or Billy
I
in
thought,
the basement doing something.
I think one of the first things we need to look at really is, do we acknowledge then that we lose the prologue in Guatemala?
I feel like it doesn't make the wraparound story doesn't make a lot of sense, at least not until we get to the end.
We can do it, we can look at that again, yes. Yeah. That's what I thought. So I thought that opening scene with Ben when he drives into town and he goes up to the Marsden house, expecting to see it as he remembered it, or however many 20 years later, or dilapidated.
Yeah.
And rather than having where you get Straker comes out of the house and goes to his car, when he turns up there, it's being done up, and you've got Billy outside working. In a nice way, subverting his expectation, because he gets there and it's not the ruin that he's expecting.
Someone's actually done the house up.
Yeah. And also, I suppose, because he's expecting to go there and wanting to rent it.
Yeah.
And somebody's already there.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact, right, well, Ben turning up, he obviously is aware of the murders that have been going on.
I don't know if he would be. He's come straight from the big city, hasn't he?
Yeah, but maybe he might have heard about it on the wires or something like that, or maybe seen like a news broadcast about it, a serial killer doing the rounds.
It could be like on the radio as he's driving into town.
And he basically just doesn't really pay too much attention to it. It's like, oh yeah, that's not going to happen where I am.
A lot of this story is about him discovering his stuff. We follow his journey as he's uncovering all of these things.
Yeah.
And I think even something like that for the audience as well, we want to discover that as he discovers it as our protagonist. Hearing it on the radio as he's driving into town, I think that should be... I don't think we should give him any foreknowledge before we know that he knows.
Yeah.
In place of having the antique shop, because we don't have that.
Yeah.
If you want to put it in there as a foil for that, for having scenes that require Billy to be in town, he's going to the hardware store to get more stuff for the renovation.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Hardware store.
Yeah.
Lots of nails. Lots of wood.
So, are we assuming that Billy is going to have a similar relationship with Mr. Crockett, the realtor man? Asking him to do favours and stuff, or are we going to lose a lot of the Crockett from these interactions, do you think?
No, because I was trying to think about this, and again, I don't know what you guys think. With Fright Night, we never really get an idea of, beyond feeding, what Jerry is doing there.
Yes.
Because he straight away has to deal with the problem of Charlie.
Yes.
Here, he's already arrived, he's had more time to work on whatever plan he originally had for coming here. As a suggestion, because I know in interviews Tom Holland, who did Fright Night, said he did it as a love letter to the classic monster movies of yesteryear.
Yeah.
And one of the classic vampire tropes is the brides of the vampire. So he's come here to choose brides.
Yeah.
Yes, because it plays into the Susan thing, and with the picture, which I'm assuming this picture is going to look an awful lot like Susan instead of looking an awful lot like Amy.
Yeah.
Yes, of course he's looking for a bride,
But, again, I don't know if we wanted to give him more, we could keep that Crockett storyline in there, because the first one he's selected as a bride is Boom Boom Bonnie.
Boom Boom Bonnie, yeah.
As a way of being able to keep the stuff with sending the guys out to go and pick up the crate, which in this case could be just a sideboard. There could just be a dresser in there.
It could just be a sideboard, yeah.
But the idea is they want to get Cullen out of town so that he can go and take Bonnie.
Oh.
But you then play up her affair with Crockett.
Yeah.
Because they're not expecting Cullen to come back, obviously. They don't know who's going to do that.
Yeah.
But they kill Cullen before. Jerry turns up at the door. If I'm rushing too far ahead, if somebody's got something to say before we get to this point, then please jump
I'm
in.
just trying to think. How are they going to kill Crockett?
He's on his way over there. Or he's waiting in his
Who's
car.
going to kill him?
Either of them.
Maybe
Finish him off.
Dandridge is choosing him as his next meal, just to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense. I get a meal, I remove him, I take Bonnie. But then Crockett's a complication.
This is the thing that I was going to suggest. they're not expecting Cullen to come back.
Right.
They haven't accounted for that. They think he's gone off to Portland.
Yeah.
He kills Crockett.
He kills Crockett to get out of the way.
And then goes for Boom Boom.
Yeah. Cullen turns up.
Mm-hmm.
He's not expecting to find Dandridge there.
No, of course he's not.
So then you could do it as he then kills Cullen. They set up the body that Ben and Susan find in the car, which is Crockett's body, is actually Cullen's body. They hide or destroy Crockett altogether. Boom Boom's missing. Everyone knows they were an open thing.
Yeah.
They think that Crockett and Boom Boom have killed Cullen and done a runner, so they won't be looking for her. While he's got her back at the house as one of his brides.
Oh, I see. I'll just say with one small exception, I think Jerry would have Boom Boom eat Cullen.
Oh, yes. If he wants Boom Boom
Mm-hmm.
to feed off him as her first kill, where would he put her? Him. The basement, would he have him in the attic? Or would he have him stashed somewhere else? Because if he wants to turn her, and then he brings her out...
Well, that's fine, because we're in the Marston house, so they've got the root cellar.
So, yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They would have him in the root cellar.
What he's saying is that once Cullen's dead, they do what they did with Crockett's body and dump it at the lake.
Yeah.
Take the head off so he can't come back. Leave the body so that they'll find it, and they'll all think that Crockett and Boom Boom have killed Cullen and have done a run and have eloped together.
Right.
And made it look like the murders from the serial killer. So nobody's going to be looking for them, or if they are looking for them, it's not going to be in town.
Yeah.
So she can stay at the house in relative safety. Because I don't know about what you guys think. For some reason, I don't know. I can't see Dandridge feeding on kids.
I was thinking about that earlier on.
I know he does with Ed, but Ed's a teenager, that's different, he's older. Especially Ralphie Glick, I think that's too young. I think he's got a level of honour about him that he wouldn't kill and turn somebody that young.
Honour?
I say honour. He's got... There's
what are you talking about?
It's the first word that popped into my head. But I don't see it. I don't know about you, what you think.
More peas.
No thanks. You kind of got a point, but it also derails our story quite a lot.
Which is why I thought then maybe Boom Boom does.
Okay.
Because that again feeds back into a classic tribute from Dracula, the Bloofer Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns up at the
We should
kids'
have led with
window.
that, by the way.
Yeah, I quite like that. If Boom Boom feeds off young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then, if we want to, we can add another layer into it. It's because then, how's Jerry going to feel about that? He spent all of this time trying to keep himself alive and keep playing it low key. And
So
now,
Jerry's not the indiscriminate one, it's the brides.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, that helps. It makes sense. It does make more sense. And she's a new vampire, and she's not used to controlling herself or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hungry. She's lusting after blood.
Yeah.
She doesn't care where she's going to get it from. But think of it, right? Ralphie Glick and Danny Glick, they would be at Mark's house.
Again, I'm still thinking about it in the plot beats of Salem's Lot. That all of this happens in one night, but because we've changed that, we can allow...
Because that's all about the arrival of Barlow, and Jerry's already in town. We don't need that.
We can delay those events till the next night if we need to.
And that's the other thing. Salem's Lot runs over a timeline of weeks, not nights, like Fright Night does.
Yeah.
So there is time.
Yes.
There is time for shit to happen. Yeah.
We've even called it Salem Nights, so we've got
Nights.
some plenty of
exactly.
I feel like throwing a P at him for that.
Don't. No, but do I get a star for that?
I
don't think he does.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not impressive enough, huh?
No.
Getting scared, getting close to your 6. I'm putting on 5.
Yeah, you're 6. Oh, yes, you're 4. My whole 2.
You mean my 6?
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying I'm threatened by that.
I've changed my mind. Maybe whoever has the least should have the stars.
So
Sorry, mate. No.
Denied. I hope that's okay, unless anybody had anything to say about stuff prior to that, but I don't think there's a lot anyway, is there?
Not a lot, not really. I mean, it all runs on rails. A lot of it's to do with the business of the town and knowing their little secrets and crap.
Yeah.
Which will carry on regardless of whether Jerry's there or not.
Yeah.
This is the bit when he starts to affect the story. I'm thinking, that we actually spread what is essentially the events of one night across 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, yeah.
So, it'd be the next shot would be like the next day and Crockett's realty is closed because both Boom Boom and Crockett are out of the picture. So maybe the next night at the lake, it's Cullen's body found.
Yeah, that would work.
And then, at the same time, we could have the Glicks being attacked by Boom Boom.
Yeah.
Because she's then turned and she's gotten hungry. So it gives it time to just percolate.
And again, that's the inciting incident for Ben. He knows something is wrong. He already feels something's wrong because of his experiences there as a kid. Now this has happened. He just found this headless body in a car or in a truck or whatever by the lake.
Yeah.
And that's going to get his juices flowing. So again, he's now on the trail as it was.
This is the point when Ben starts to notice there's something wrong. Actually, it's not just his obsession with the house. There's something wrong in the town.
But also, you've got to think of it like this. I mean, how long is it going to take for him to put two and two together? Headless corpse. From what he heard on the news. Will he remember what he heard on the news on the radio?
He might be the only one who makes the connection.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to think. He might have heard it, but not listened to it. If he was driving, so maybe he wouldn't have heard that, and he hadn't quite put the connection together.
So
until the next victim that happens.
So what? Maybe Parkins makes the connection for him, or do you think that it will take him longer to make the connection?
I think it will take him longer.
What are we going to do then? So because originally we called at the end of our Act 1 as this night when Ralphie Glick disappears and all of this happens.
It's the same events.
It's the same event, so we're simply pushing the end of Act 1 back to Ralphie Glick's disappearance the next night.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
That's cool.
You know, because it's still the commencement of hostilities.
Yes.
The Glicks boys disappear. They find the body at the lake. Things escalate.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still that turning point. It just happens over a longer period of time.
So are we saying then that what we've now got is Bonnie to a degree acting independently of Jerry?
She could well be.
Yeah.
So Jerry doesn't know about the other vampires.
No.
Yeah.
So you also got to think about she's a fledgling vampire.
Yeah.
Has an insatiable lust for blood.
I've always assumed that even though he's looking for brides, he's looking to be discreet, that he's trying not to get caught.
Yeah.
But he's going out to hunt at night, leaving his bride behind, unaware of just how weak they are to their own thirsts.
Yeah.
And off they go by hunting.
Yeah.
And it's going to take time for him to realise that they've been doing, or she's been doing this.
Yeah.
Until the bodies start to pile up, he's not going to know. He doesn't know the town's business the way other people do.
Okay, so I mean that would, unless there's anything else in particular, I think that kind of brings us to the end of the act.
Sure, that's what it does.
Part of the reason why I was thinking about that for this idea with Bonnie was because Salem's Lot is a small town, and whereas where Charlie is, it's a bigger town, so yes, it makes sense to just prey on the sex worker community to begin with when he first arrives.
Yeah.
Here, there probably isn't so much of a thing here,
No.
but it's a small town full of small town indiscretions.
Yes.
That's something you can play on.
Yeah. Yes, it's people's secrets that he preys on, isn't it? You know.
Okay, but I think that brings us up to date.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of the act, pretty much.
Next week, we will come back and we will have a look at Act 2 of Salem... Get it right this time. Salem Nights. And find out if we can bend this any more out of shape than we've done already.
It's going to be a bit wonky, I reckon.
We good with the wonky?
I'm good with the wonky.
Oh, there we go then.
Are you good with the wonky? That's going to become a thing now, I can feel it. Anyway, until then, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
As always, guys, GTFA.
Bye.
Ba 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 ba.